Hey YouTube, today I want to do a bird stencil for you. It is actually a double one, but I'm only going to do one, which is this one here in the bottom. And I'm going to start off with some acrylic paint, and just make sure you have your stencil on the paper that you want, and just make sure it's pinned down so that it doesn't get smudged in below it, or it's raised up when you are actually working on it. So this is my bird that I am going to do. So besides having it taped down, I actually am holding it down so that it doesn't move, because you don't want, when you raise it up, that it's smudged in the bottom, because it could look really not so pretty when it gets smudged. Okay. All right, so I kind of put this on a little bit thick, and acrylic paint takes a really short amount of time to dry, so it will be dried in no time. Right, so I'm just smoothing it out, so because I want it to look smooth actually. Right, and then I'm going to just wash my brush, and well, maybe I will do what I will do the whole bottom, the tail and everything in the same red, and this is cadmium red, in case you're wondering. So I'm using cadmium red. I'm going to do the tail as well in this red, and all of this right here, right? And then the other color that I'm going to use, kind of like yellow. So I'm going to use this yellow to do the wings, because I kind of like bright colors, and a splash of color is always good for me. So I'm going to do this in yellow, and I'm going to kind of streak it so it really does look like it has some feathers going on there. So I'm not going to move those streaks out of the way. I'm going to leave them right there. Hopefully I get a kind of bird look, feathery look, right? And I am also going to put the head in yellow. So it's stencil, you can do whatever you want, right? And I'm going to mix a little bit of that red in it, so it even out the colors, and it has a nice vibrant but mix of the two colors. Okay, so you can choose whatever color you want that you like. Okay, so I'm going to put a little more, and I'm also going to add just a bit, tip more. Okay, all right, so that's the head of the bird. And you know what, to even out the colors even more, I can go back to the red using my really fine brush and just add a tip of red at the top for the beak. Right, so that gives it like a flush, even look with the colors, right? So we really want to fill that in right there. And I am going to fill in some spaces that I see didn't get enough of that yellow, that's missing like a little corner. So like this corner right here, I'm going to fill right in. Just make sure you hold that stencil down, or if you really pin it down really nicely, so that you get what you want in the end. You don't want these smudges and stuff. All right, so now what I will do, I would kind of see it's raising up a little bit. I'll go ahead and do the leaves and the branch that the bird is on. So of course the leaves are green, so I'm going to use a green. I am also going to use my brush, and once it's rinsed, just rinse the brush of your water, rinse out your brush, I'm going to do this green leaf, and I'm going to come back to the bird in just a minute, but I don't want my leaves too green. I want them a nice light green, right? So I don't want them a dark green at all. I just want a nice light green. Okay, so I'm just filling in all of the leaves. And once I'm done with that, let me hold it down. I'm seeing a little patches there. I hold it down, hold it down, hold it down. Yep. And here we go. Good. So this is it. I'm going to leave number 3, and then I am going to, and then I'm done, really. So here, the brushes, it's kind of dry, but I just want to brush it on just to make sure everything is covered. And then from there, I'm going to do my stems with brown stems. Not too brown. I just want everything light because I want everything to be pretty, because I like colors, right? That's why it's called a splash of color, because I really want to get some color in there. I find that when you use color, when you look at color, it really does brighten up your eyes. It brightens your eyes a lot. So let's do just a mild amount on the stems, right? And here we go. Yep. Just kind of wash it down so that it's not as thick, it's not as concentrated. All right. So maybe I'll speed up the video for you all in a little bit so that I can just finish this up, and we'll see what we get at the end. Okay. So I think that's it. This is good. This looks good. And here we go. The only thing I have to do is put the feet in for the bird, and I think I would want to do those in like a dark gray or black. So let's get just a tiny bit, wash it out a little bit in your water, and we just get some feet in here for the bird, right? Yeah. And maybe that's a little bit too wet. It'll be wet. It will run in the bottom. I'm pretty much sure it already did. But that's okay. We just allow it. Just allow it to dry. Yep, it did run in the bottom. That's why sometimes you need not do it too wet to run everywhere. And then I'm just going to highlight the bird and spruce up a little bit. Okay. Okay, so I am ready to take off this stencil from over my piece, and it's stuck here, so I'm going to really take it off now. And what I'm going to do is actually fill in some of this bird head that is actually not filled in. I'll probably fill it in with white, and then I'll probably put a little dot for the eye, because I kind of like it to actually still look like it's something is there and not just a paper. So I'm filling it in, and then I will put a little dot for the eye. So I get my black paint and I put a little eye in. So so it actually looks like it's a full bird and not really just a stencil, but just you can just take it a little beyond being a stencil, right? So I put a little eye in, and my bird actually looks more complete with the eye than with just that white space. So, so I'm just getting my eye in here, and that's the eye for my bird. Now I'm also going to fill in along the wings with this brush and with some white paint again, and that will clean up some of the edges that that are just like, you know, not so smooth, although it really doesn't matter. If you know, but you can do it too if you want. And I'm just going to take the time to do that, so I'm just going to probably speed up this video just a little bit. I try to clean up some of the edges on the bird that looked a little rough, but what I want to do is kind of like add a little bit of fly away. You know, sometimes the bird has this thing by its neck that it ruffles the top here, so I'm just kind of dry brush just a little bit of feathers pushing out. So I'm just going to dry brush a little. Sometimes it has a little, you know, when they're ruffling themselves, they rough up their feathers up there. So that's what I'm actually doing with, and I'm just going to do it like that, right? And if a little bit of it got into the white outline, I am just going to just add back some white and take away that that mess that I made right here, and just try to smooth it out a little bit. Unfortunately, sometimes the brush has these flyaway hairs that makes it difficult to work with. But I don't think I still think I need to fix this just a little more. So I'm going to work it with my brush just one more time. Right, that looks better. That looks way better. So that's what I wanted to do with the back of my bird right there. And I also want to fix the beak. See, that's what happens when the tape gets pulled up and you don't get the tape to sit. You have to come back and clean up some of this. All right, and so because I don't want my bird to seem like it's standing, it's just hanging in the middle of nowhere, I'm going to extend that branch out a little bit, and then of course I'm going to fix that leg that got all destroyed. It looks like the poor bird has a broken leg. So I'm going to fix all of that. And sometimes this is what happens when you're doing stuff, you know, it gets all messed up and you just have to go in and clean it up, right? So my bird was a little bit washed. The branch was a little bit washed. So I'm going to wet my brush and just wash this branch to keep it with the rest, right? So it looks like really light. Okay, and then maybe we can still go in and highlight. Yeah, and of course I want my branch to be touching my leaves. Right? I don't want it to look like it's hanging in the air. So I'm gonna just push the brush up into these leaves to connect the branch with the leaves. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here now, connecting. So you can actually make your stencil your own, and you don't have to leave it to look like a stencil, so much like a stencil when you're using it. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is kind of like try to fix this bird like right here. I'm probably going to do first here, let me get my black paint, and I'm gonna try to just get a bit here on my brush. Get a bit on my brush, right? Because I'm using my my paints directly out of my tube. So I just got a little paint, and I'm gonna repaint that leg. Okay, make it look better. It's still a bit thick, but that's okay. All right, but I'm also going to connect the leg to the bird. I don't want the bird with the leg that is not connected. So I'm connecting the leg to the bird. And I'm also going to fix the branch. Right? Okay, so let me see how I can, let me see. I'm going to fix this. My video is going way longer than I wanted it to. Okay, so let me fix this branch. Connect this branch, right? Get the branch right up so the bird is actually connected to the branch. The bird is actually stepping on the branch, right? The bird step right here. Okay. All right. And so there you have it. Because it's taking longer, maybe in the next video I will paint a background in and show you how I do that. All right, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.